Good morning, Elizabeth. It's Tuesday the 13th of July and my camera won't let me record. Couple of things today. Firstly, you said in your video that you had nothing to talk about. I remember when I was very young, our mum saying to me, "Peter, intelligent people don't get bored." This was pretty much the smartest thing she could have said, because from that day I never nagged her about being bored again. Instead, I just always have like 15 million things going on in my mind at once. And it's kind of the same now. So the idea of having nothing to talk about in a video is kind of bewildering to me. Here's a list of the things that I've thought about literally in the last few days alone. I've been reading a lot about Jim Henson, like for the last 3 months or so. I've just been obsessed. And one thing that really fascinated me was the fact that even though he died, all the characters that he did lived on. And to a certain extent, he kind of chose the people who were going to do the characters after he died. The idea of creating a character that outlives you and planning your own mortality into the character is something that really interests me. I've also been thinking about tables versus tables. Why are they both the same word? The idea that even though life is unfair, we kind of go in knowing that it's unfair. Like, it's equally unfair for everyone. It's not like it's unfair for some people and really fair for others. It might be unfair in a positive way for some and unfair in a negative way for others, but in a way, life is fair because it's equally unfair across the board. Like, there's no promise that it is fair, therefore it's unfair for everyone, therefore it's fair. On a similar note, things that happen to you aren't really setbacks or boosts, they're just things. Again, life isn't fair. It's not a base level and then things happen to you. Those things are your base level and you go from there. I just finished reading this book called The Spellman Files, and I've been watching through House, and so I've been thinking about the fact that extremely unpleasant characters tend to be the funniest ones, which is interesting to me. I've been wondering where the hell my magic cards are. I've got a friend who just started up her own web design business, and so I've been looking at sites and just analysing the design of them because she's very, very good. It's been a really interesting kind of thing to look at. The concept of luck is something that's fascinated me for years. The fact that even something as simple as a coin flip isn't chance. If you know enough about the situation, you can tell exactly how that coin flip is going to land. And I've been wondering, like, is there such thing as pure luck, or is absolutely everything predictable? It's a free will kind of debate at the same time, which, I find interesting. And lastly, I've been thinking about humour. Now, as you know, I'm constantly thinking about humour, and I could literally fill up a million billion videos. Not literally a million billion, that's way too many. As you know, I'm always thinking about humour, and the rest of my videos for the year could be about nothing except that. But recently I've been thinking about the fact that shock material, like shock laughs, depends on you setting the baseline and then crossing that line. If you start with shock stuff, then you can't shock them any further. You have to start with it with a baseline, then shock them, and then bring it down to that line again, then shock them again for it to be truly effective shock humour. So if none of those inspire you at all, I challenge you to do an interview with William tomorrow. Gav, this was my face when I saw that video. That's all from me. Elizabeth, I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully my camera will be working again.